I coach three pillars simultaneously: life coaching, nutrition coaching, and accountability coaching. Every engagement, every client, all three working together from day one. And I want to explain why, because it's not a marketing decision, it's methodology decision actually, and it comes directly from what I learned going through my own transformation. So let me start with what I tried before February 2025. I tried addressing the physical. I thought about diets. I tried a couple workout programs. I tried some supplements here and there, and I said I would try intermittent fasting, but I didn't. I tried some of those approaches that focus on the body, and if the body exists separately of the mind and the life around it, like, it just didn't work. None of it held. And for a long time, I thought the problem was me, that I lacked discipline, that I wasn't consistent enough, that I needed to find the right program. But here's what I actually figured out. The problem wasn't the approach to nutrition or training. The problem was I was trying to change one layer of a 3-layer system while leaving the other two completely unaddressed. And here's what I mean by 3 layers. Layer 1 is physical: nutrition, training, recovery, biometric data. This is a layer most coaches focus on exclusively, and it matters enormously, but it doesn't exist in isolation. Layer 2 is the mental and the emotional: identity, mindset, the story you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of. The gap between who you're living as and who you actually want to be. This layer drives every decision that you make about the physical layer: when you eat, whether you train, how you respond when things actually get hard. And layer 3 is the structural part: the systems, the architecture, the daily disciplines, the accountability mechanisms that determine whether the decisions you make in layers 1 and 2 actually get executed consistently over time. A lot of coaching addresses one layer, some address 2, very few address all 3 simultaneously, and here's why that matters. The way you eat affects how you think. It's not a metaphor, it's physiology. When your nutrition is off, when you're running on processed foods, inconsistent blood sugar, poor metabolic flexibility, your cognitive function is impaired. Your emotional regulation suffers, and your ability to make clear decisions is compromised. I see this with my own data. I saw it with my own data. On days my nutrition was poor, my HRV dropped. My sleep quality declined. My readiness score was lower, and on those days my decision making was worse. Not just about food, but about everything. You cannot address the mental and emotional layer effectively if the physical layer is undermining your cognitive function. They're connected. And the way you think affects whether you follow through. This is an identity piece. There's a misalignment between who you say you are and how you actually live. So if your identity hasn't caught up with the person you're trying to become, you will self-sabotage yourself every time you get close to real change. I see this consistently with clients who have tried everything. They know what to do, they've been given the path, they follow through for a few weeks, and then something happens and they're back at square one. The plan wasn't the problem. The identity was the problem. They're trying to act like a person they haven't fully decided to be yet. You cannot address the physical layer sustainably if the mental and emotional layer is working against you. They're all connected. And lastly, if follow through is what determines everything. If someone has the physical knowledge and the identity clarity without the structural layer, without the systems and the architecture and accountability mechanisms that make consistent action the default, nothing else matters. Because knowing what to do and doing it consistently are 2 completely different things. The gap between them is where most transformations die. You cannot address the mental and the emotional layer or the physical layer without sustainably having the structural layer supporting both. They're all connected. So when I did rebuild in February of 2025, I addressed all 3 simultaneously. I built a nutrition protocol: precision, macro-based eating informed by my Lumen metabolic data. I built the identity. I made a decision about who I was becoming and stopped negotiating with it. And then I built the architecture, the systems, the schedules, the tracking stack, the daily disciplines that made Each consistent action, the path of least resistance. All three working together. That's why 140 pounds in 8 months. That's why it held when everything else hadn't. And that's how I coach. Not nutrition only, not mindset only, not accountability check-ins only. All three pillars working together from the first session. Because transformations don't happen in one layer. It happens when all three layers are moving in the same direction at the same time. And if you want to understand what that looks like applied to your specific situation, links in the description. I do 3 free 30-minute discovery calls, real descriptions, real conversations, no pitch. I'm Jeff. This is Becoming Lighter in Life and Mind. Subscribe if this was useful, and there's more coming.